Okay, so this is the requirements and design document for my use case of a chat room. Basically, I chose to try and implement the basics of a chat server, which would include multiple different chat rooms within the server. So this use case diagram you see here is basically there's an unregistered user and a registered user and an admin. They're the three actors. An unregistered user has the use case of register, which includes the use case of login, i.e. when you register, you can then log in. And a registered user can log in, and as soon as they log in, they can access messaging use case, select room use case, and that's it, basically. It's all that registered user can do and see. Whereas the admin, when he logs in, he can select a room, he can message just like a registered user, but he can also ban a user and remove a room that he wants to delete basically off the server. So he has a couple of more functions or methods that he can use, use cases that he can use in the chat room. And next is the class diagram. So the class diagram says that basically there's an unregistered user who has a one-to-one relationship and a directed association with a registered user. As when an unregistered user registers, he becomes a registered user with a name and password, and he gets the ability to use the functions to open chat activity and to log in. So a registered user can open a chat activity or not. That's why it has a directed relationship of 1 to 0 to 1, 0 to 1 with a chat activity. Same on the far side, an admin has the exact same ability to start a chat activity by logging in with his name and password. And then his screen name is shown in the chat activity, and it comes down. Chat activity opens a chat session, which is 1-to-1, and it's a directed association again, as a chat activity opens up one chat activity opens up one chat session, and then the chat session then accesses the chat room DAO, which is basically where the list of members, the list of admins, and the functions of checking the permissions, displaying messages, and then the two admin private functions of ban user and remove room are stored. This will also store like the messages that are sent. So basically, the chat session connects to the chat room DAO. It opens up a one-to-one relationship, directed relationship, where it opens up the chat room that the user wants to use, and he sends messages to it and receives messages from it. So it basically relays all the messages that are sent from the chat session by users and admins to the chat room DAO. They're stored and relayed back to the chat session for the user to receive them. Now these are obviously checked by the permissions every time, so that the chat room knows whether this user can receive or send messages. Basically, if an admin has banned a user, it will check permissions, it will see that he's banned, and basically those methods won't be able to be used by that registered user. One thing to mention here that I've actually just realized that I've forgotten is the fact that there is no kind of attribute in the registered user to say whether he's banned or not. That would be something for later improvements to the diagram, just so that the chat room has something to actually look at to see if, say, there's a token or a boolean stored within the registered user to say whether he is banned or not, as a private boolean or attribute anyway that's within registered user just to check whether they're banned or not. And that is the class diagram. For both the class diagram and the use case diagram, I mentioned that I would have like to implement a method for logging out for both registered users and admins. So basically, they log in, not stuck there forever, and they can log out. So that is basically the idea. Then I quickly go through the class diagrams because I'm going over the time. Registers, user, unregistered users registers. He then logs in, chat room, DAO checks his permissions, and then he's connected to the server as being logged in. The admin, pretty much the same thing, logs in, checks the permissions, connects to the server. Chat room DAO sees he's an admin, gives him use of ban user and remove room. He can also send and receive messages the same as a registered user. And then there's just a registered user, which is basically he's registered, he logs in, his permissions are checked, he's not given access to remove room or ban user, and he can send and receive messages as well, and they're displayed at the chat room DAO. And that's basically it. That's everything, I think. A bit over time, but there you go.